Genesis 5 provides a genealogical record that spans from Adam to Noah, tracing the lineage of the early generations. Here is a detailed summary of Genesis 5.
The chapter begins by stating that God created man in his own image and likeness, and then it lists the descendants of Adam through the line of his son Seth.
The genealogy emphasizes the passing of generations, detailing the ages at which each father had his firstborn son,
and how long they lived after the birth of that son.
The genealogy starts with Adam, who fathered Seth at the age of 130.
Adam lived a total of 930 years before he died.
Seth, in turn, had a son named Enoch, and the pattern of fathers begetting sons continues through successive generations.
The chapter goes on to mention notable figures in this genealogical line, including Enoch, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, and finally Noah.
Each patriarch in this lineage is noted for the number of years they lived and the age at which they fathered their firstborn son. Enoch, the seventh in the line of descent from Adam, stands out as an exception in this genealogy.
It is said that he walked with God and that he was taken by God so that he did not experience death. Methuselah, the son of Enoch, is particularly noteworthy for being the longest recorded lifespan in the Bible, living for 969 years.
However, despite his long life, Methuselah eventually dies like all the others. The genealogical account concludes with the birth of Noah, who was born to Lamech when he was 182 years old. Noah, like his forefathers, had sons and lived a significant span of years, eventually becoming the central figure in the subsequent narrative of the flood and the preservation of humanity. Genesis 5 provides a lineage that serves as a bridge between Adam and Noah, highlighting the passing of generations and the longevity of life in those early times. The genealogy not only establishes a historical framework, but also sets the stage for the next significant event in the book of Genesis, the story of the worldwide flood and Noah's role in it. Genesis 6 introduces a significant event in human history known as the corruption of humanity and God's decision to bring a flood as judgment. Here is a detailed summary of Genesis 6.
The chapter begins by describing the increasing wickedness and corruption that spread throughout the earth.
It states that humanity multiplied on the earth, and as people multiplied, evil and violence became prevalent. The sons of God, often understood as fallen angels or godly descendants of Seth, saw that the daughters of men were beautiful and took them as wives, leading to a mixing of godly and ungodly lines. God observes the extent of human wickedness and sorrowfully decides to bring judgment upon the earth.
He states that his spirit will not strive with humanity forever, as their days will be limited to 120 years.
This does not refer to the lifespan of individuals, but rather the time left until the flood comes. God determines to bring a flood that will destroy all living creatures on the earth, including humans and animals. However, Noah finds favor in the eyes of God.
He is described as a righteous man who walks with God amidst a corrupt generation.
God reveals his plan to Noah and instructs him to build an ark, providing specific details for its construction. The ark is to be made of gopher wood, with specific dimensions and compartments for different kinds of animals. God tells Noah that he will establish a covenant with him, and Noah is to bring his family and a selection of animals into the ark to be saved from the coming flood.
Noah faithfully follows God's instructions and begins building the ark. The construction takes many years, during which Noah also acts as a preacher of righteousness, warning the people of the impending judgment.
Genesis 6 concludes by reiterating God's plan to bring the flood, highlighting the obedience of Noah, and noting that Noah did everything as God commanded him. The account of Genesis 6 sets the stage for the subsequent chapters, where the flood and Noah's preservation play central roles.
It emphasizes the gravity of human sin and the consequences it incurs, while also showcasing God's justice and his gracious provision of a way of escape for Noah and the animals through the ark.
Genesis 7 continues the narrative of Noah and the Great Flood, detailing the events leading up to and during the flood itself. Here is a detailed summary of Genesis 7. God instructs Noah to enter the ark, along with his family and the animals that God had chosen to be preserved. Noah obeys God's command, and 7 days later, the rain begins to fall.
The floodwaters pour down from the heavens, and the fountains of the deep burst forth, inundating the earth with water. The rain continues to fall for 40 days and 40 nights while the floodwaters rise, covering the entire earth.
Every living thing on the face of the earth outside the ark, including humans and land-dwelling animals, is destroyed.
The ark, constructed according to God's instructions, floats on the surface of the floodwaters, ensuring the safety of Noah, his family, and the animals within.
The massive destruction caused by the flood demonstrates the severity of God's judgment upon the wickedness and corruption of humanity.
The floodwaters continue to rise for 150 days, during which time the ark drifts upon the waters.
As the waters reach their peak, they cover even the highest mountains. After the 150 days, God remembers Noah and causes a wind to pass over the earth, causing the waters to begin to recede.
The rain ceases, and the floodwaters gradually start to diminish.
Noah, eager to determine the state of the land, sends out a raven from the ark. The raven ever lies back and forth until the waters have dried up from the earth.
Noah then sends out a dove to see if the waters have subsided.
The dove returns to the ark because it finds no place to rest. After waiting for a week, Noah releases the dove again, and this time, it returns with an olive leaf in its beak, indicating that the waters have significantly receded. Another week passes, and Noah releases the dove once more. This time, the dove does not return, signaling that the land is now dry.
In the 601st year of Noah's life, on the first day of the first month, the earth is finally dry. God instructs Noah to remove the covering of the ark, and they are finally able to leave the ark. Noah builds an altar and offers sacrifices to God as an act of worship and thanksgiving for his deliverance.
The aroma of the sacrifices pleases God, and he establishes a covenant with Noah, promising never to destroy the earth by a flood again.
As a sign of this covenant, God sets the rainbow in the sky.
Genesis 7 provides a detailed account of the flood itself, the destruction it causes, and the preservation of Noah, his family, and the animals in the ark. It demonstrates the faithfulness of Noah in following God's instructions and highlights God's mercy in saving a remnant amidst his judgment. Thank you for listening.